Hello, welcome. I'm Tauni at Yoga 413. Thank you for joining me for this Vinyasa Yoga Flow practice today. When you're ready, meet me in a seated position on your mat. We're going to begin the class with a few moments of stillness and breath. Placing one hand over your heart and the other on your belly, I invite you to close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. Turning all of your attention to your body and your breath. Choosing to let go of any distractions that might be going on in your life, or any of those things that are no longer serving you well. Opening the eyes, reach the arms over the head, interlace the fingers, press the palms up, and then exhale, round the spine, press those arms away from you. Again, inhale, open up, and exhale, round. Again, so just moving the spine and round. Reach the arms over the head, separate the hands, and then take it into a lateral stretch on one side, extending the arm over the head. And then lengthening back up and bringing it to the other side. Rising up, meet me at a kneeling position on your mat. So the tops of the feet are down, drop your hips to your heels. Place the hands on the mat. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, see if you can lift the knees up off the mat. And again, rounding the spine, pressing that mat away from you, and then lower down. Again, lift up and release. So really starting to fire up those core muscles. Again, press up, lift the knees, and come down. Taking the knees wide, feet connected, extended child's pose. Begin to walk the hands over to the right. And then place the left hand on top of the right hand as you continue to extend the arms. And then walking the hands over to the other side. Right hand on top of left. Hips stay back. Find a nice stretch all through the arms and the side body. Bringing the arms back forward. One more breath in. And out. Rise up and come into downward facing dog. Pedaling out your feet by alternate bending the knees. And then finding your pose. Check in with your foundation in the hands and feet. Lift the right leg up for one leg dog. And then draw the knee through the chest as you step the right foot forward. Back knee to the mat, kneeling lunge. Bringing the hands down to either side of the foot. Open the back knee by taking that foot behind you and opening to the side. So very similar to a warrior two. But you're in a kneeling position. Extend the arms. You're going to press up and then gently come into a deeper stretch. Let's do that a couple more times, seeing how the mobility and the flexibility feels today. So we gently warm the body, hold. Take that right arm over the head, wrap the left behind you. Kneeling reverse warrior. Begin to lift. Take the hands to either side of the foot. Step back to down dog. Lifting the left leg, one leg dog. Knee through chest as you step forward, back knee to the mat, kneeling lunge. So you want to be sure here, front knee over ankle. So if you need to take a moment to widen your stance, please do so. Hands to the mat. We turn the foot, we open up to the side. Very similar to a kneeling warrior two. And then we begin to move. Just lift and lower a few times. And then reverse, left arm up. That right arm's going to wrap around behind the body. Bringing the hands back to the mat, stepping to down dog. Look forward and bring your feet to the top of your mat. Lengthen to a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, high mountain pose, arms over the head, bringing the hands to the heart center. Inhale, high mountain. Hinge forward, forward fold. Lengthen the spine, flatten your back, and fold. Inhale, rise up tall. Hands to heart center. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in, reach up. Forward fold. Half lift, lengthen the back. And fold. Inhale, rise. Hands to heart center. Sit back into chair pose, Utkatasana. Extending the arms, bending your knees. Begin to lift the left heel. Shifting your weight, warrior three. Extend that left leg back behind you. Find balance. Step back to warrior one. We're going to turn your palms forward, cactus your arms, open up your chest. Circle those arms up. And again, cactus open. Last time, reach up. Cactus your arms. Arms come up. Step forward, tree pose. Warrior two as the left leg steps back. Find your pose. Take the right palm up, reverse warrior, and again, that left arm's going to wrap behind the back. Maybe it grabs onto the thigh for a half bind. Beginning our transition, lifting that right hand. I want you to follow your right hand back to your left foot. Right hand to the mat, revolved lunge. Hand comes down to frame that forward foot. Step back to high plank. Shift forward on your toes, bend the elbows, lower all the way to the mat. Lift your heart into cobra. Downward facing dog. Look forward, bring your feet to your hands. Bend your knees, chair pose. Lift your right heel. Begin to adjust your weight, warrior three, as you hinge forward, creating that T shape with the body, leveling your hips. Stepping back for warrior one. Palms forward, cactus your arms, open the heart, turn your eyes up. And then bring them forward, circle your arms. And cactus open. Last time. Eyes forward, arms up. Tree pose, step that back foot forward, find tree. Begin your transition to warrior two, opening to the side. And again, front knee over ankle, hips underneath those shoulders. Reverse warrior, right arm behind the back and maybe binding. Begin to rise, following that left hand to the right foot, revolved lunge. Bringing the hand to the mat, step back to high plank. Shift forward, chaturanga, bending the elbows halfway. Then flip the feet over, upward facing dog, down dog. Looking forward, bring your feet to your hands. Sit back into chair. Lift the left heel. Open to the side, warrior two. Moving into a half bound angle pose. So begin to lean forward. We're going to come into supported first. That left arm is up. Wrap it around behind the back. Maybe grabbing onto the thigh. And then choose with your right hand. You might extend it forward or take it down. Just remember that the chest stays open. We don't want to be facing the mat. If that happens, just lift the body up. Now just straighten your leg for a half bound triangle pose. Releasing out of your bind, extend your arms, lift up. You're going to turn to the back of your mat, step to chair. Lifting the right heel, step back, warrior two. Sinking into your legs, lean forward, side angle. Adding your bind, taking that arm behind the back, maybe grabbing onto the thigh, turning your gaze up if it is comfortable for you, and then choosing what you do with the left arm. Maybe it's unsupported, maybe it's down to the mat. Breathe. Straightening the leg, half bound triangle. Extending the arms, lift up, turn your toes forward, standing straddle. Taking the hands underneath you, come to a kneeling position on your mat. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. Toes turn down into the mat. Stack your hips over your knees. Right arm up, left hand back to that left ankle, or maybe the back for half camel. Lift up and switch. Lifting up, drop your hips onto your heels. I still have your toes turned down into the mat. You want your feet hip distance apart, or your knees hip distance apart if they're not. We're going to place the hands onto the ankles, then rise up into camel pose, pressing your hips forward, drawing your shoulders together, and lifting that heart up. And lift, and child's pose. Beautiful job. Take a few moments here around your back. Rest and breathe. Rise up and meet me in a seated position. Moving into boat pose, so knees are bent. Lean back with a nice straight back and shoulders back, maybe lifting the feet and extending your arms for boat pose. Careful here not to hold your breath. Let's do 2 more deep breaths. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last one, breathe in. And as you breathe out, cross the ankles, step or float back to high plank. Shift forward, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Down dog. Moving into pigeon pose on the right side, extend the right leg. Bring that knee in through the chest and then take it out to the side, to the outside of that right elbow, and lower the hips. Continue to lift the chest. Pigeon pose. Moving into sleeping pigeon as you walk the hands out in front of you, or maybe coming to your forearms and come into that hip stretch. Begin to lift the chest, bring the hands back in. Pigeon pose. Option to bend the back knee, reach back, left hand to left foot, and extend the right arm. So if you're in this, be sure that you're lifting up away from the mat and not collapsing to that right side. I see that sometimes in my classes. Come down and downward facing dog. Take any movement here you might need, release that hip. Moving into pigeon on the left, extending the left leg. Knee in and then out to the side. Pigeon pose. Begin to walk it out. Sleeping pigeon. Walk it back in. And then make your choice to stay here or right hand to right ankle and left arm extends, find balance. We're going to release and swing that back leg around. Extend both legs. So the hips scoot back, sit up nice and tall. Hands press here at your sides. A seated staff. And then lift the arms over the head. Hinge forward from your hips. If you need to bend your knees, please do so, and come forward into your fold. So I say that because a lot of times we'll see this where the back goes back here in rounds. I need you to hinge forward from your hip crease instead. And so you're always welcome to soften those knees. Begin to roll down nice and slow. Bringing the knees in and then lifting the ankles over the knees for happy baby. Finding a neutral spine, pressing the back down into the mat. Moving into a spine twist. Left leg extends, right knee in, and then across the body. Switching sides. Left knee pulls in and drop it across the body. Spine twist. Rolling back to your back, knees to chest. Extending the legs up for waterfall pose. So this is going to be our inversion. I'm going to give you this option, or for those of you who like to practice shoulder stand, if it is in your practice, you are welcome to go ahead and lift the hips over the shoulders, up to you. Hands to the low back, and extend the legs. So whichever pose you're in, we're going to start to lower out of the pose and come into reclining butterfly. Placing both hands on the midsection. Gently close the eyes. Take that deep breath in. And exhale, let it go. 2 more times, breathing deeply. And then moving into Shavasana, our resting pose with legs extended, arms at your sides, keeping the eyes closed. Allow yourself this time of rest for stillness, not only in the body, but also the mind. I'll be back with you in just a moment. Beginning our transition out of the pose with small movements, coming into the hands and the feet, and into the arms and the legs. Bringing the knees in and rolling to your side into a resting position. Acknowledging gratitude for our bodies, for our time on the mat, and whatever else it is you're thankful for today. I encourage you to just bring that into your heart. Then help yourself up to have a seat. You did beautifully. I know I say that every class, but I truly believe it. If you showed up, you did a great job. We're going to bring our hands to a prayer at our hearts. And from my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. Have a blessed day.